So this is a little something different. As I'm recording this right now, I am halfway through this episode, which is episode season 2, episode 4 of Interview with the Vampire. I want you more than anything in the world. As I say, I'm halfway through the episode and I want to talk about it so I don't forget as I'm progressing through. This episode is it's starting out pretty good. Claudia has got a part in the play, and as time progresses on, she is getting more and more bored. And Armand asked her what is wrong, and she told him how she is a child trapped in a child's body, being a immortal vampire, and that is weighing on her. And there is some heat and tension going on with the Coven and Louis because he is sticking around. Not sticking around, it's more so the lack thereof him sticking around, and they're getting very nervous and very worried about it. They are talking about how he is being a photographer and hanging around with humans, and it is very dangerous for them because he might actually expose them. And him and Santiago got into an altercation while they were at dinner, and Armand stopped time and told them that they need to act correctly before he does something. And everybody's questioning him and Armand's relationship, asking what they are, and the whole time Armand is not knowing the fact that this dude is hallucinating, that he is still seeing Lestat even though Lestat is really not there, and he really thinks he killed him. But we know the truth, he didn't kill him, he's not dead. But as I go through this episode, it's progressing forward, and I'm looking at it, and like I said, the whole tension rising between them, him and the Coven, and Santiago was also discussing the vampire rules with Claudia. And the more I look at this episode, the more I'm thinking about how as time progresses, it is going to progress to the scene that I'm dreading the most in this season. I think it's going to happen in this season, but it's getting down. I'm worried about that, and I know it's going to be a sad thing. But in present time, they're also showing how Daniel Malloy, he's going through some stuff. He's thinking about how Armand glamored him and all that, and he got all kinds of information that Armand and Louis did not tell him, and they wondering how do he know about it. And it's just a whole crazy situation, and I'm gonna pause this, and when I get through, I'm gonna come back. Okay, I just got done with this episode, and let me just say, it was some peculiar stuff going on in this episode, and I wrote some notes down. In the modern day time, it was telling how, not the modern day time, but the past time. Hell, I'm saying wrong. In the modern time, it was showing how Louis was showing Malloy some pictures of his photography, and Malloy was saying it looked like something he had seen in a book, and Louis looked and it wasn't his pictures. It was actually from a book and different artists, pictures and stuff, and Louis and Armand got into an argument because Louis thinks that Armand switched his pictures around. Now back in the past world, okay, find out that Claudia friend from the last episode, that is Madeline from the books and from the original movie I remember watching. So that is the one she is getting close with, and starting to catch feelings for. And let me just say, Armand had to save Madeline from Claudia because, well, her cycle came on and she with the bleed and it was running down her leg and Claudia seen it and Claudia was about to attack her and Armand had to come save her and he was dragging her. He dragged her out of there and he was talking about um she gonna work at the studio. I'm at the theater and he told her about he knew about what happened to Lestat. And she done gonna approach Louis and she said how he chose another person over her and all that. So they got into a whole heated argument and then it was another part in the episode where Louis went for a walk with Armand, and he told Armand how he is somewhat like Lestat, and he just uses his powers just blatantly and using it on mortals, you know, for his own gain. And he took offense to that. I ain't gonna lie, I would have took offense to that too. And they went to this pain studio, and Armand told about his human life, how his name was Armadale, and he worked in a brothel, and his maker Marius saved him, and then his maker was killed um, in their Roman studio, a painting studio that Marius had. He was a painter, and they set fire to the studio, and then they forced Armand to take over the Coven in London after something happened to Lestat's maker, Magnus. I don't know what happened to Lestat's maker. I really don't. And then, after the argument that Louis and Claudia had, Louis said he was going on a walk. And he went on a walk. While he was on that walk, Santiago broke into his place and stole some kind of book. It's probably some doggone evidence where they gonna tell where he probably wrote down what happened to Lestat being stupid. You don't do that. You don't do that. They should have learned by now. They should have learned by now. And we thought that Louis was going on a hunt, but he was actually went and he finally forgot, well, not forget, but he finally got the thought of Lestat out of his head. So now Lestat consciousness isn't gonna be walking around with him anymore. And then in the final scene, they went back to present time, and Daniel was recalling his first interview with Louis and how Louis attacked him and how Louis almost killed him. He was feeding upon him, and it's something. He got mad with him, and he got out of control. So the next episode, they showed a preview for it, and it's gonna be back in 1970, whatever year it was when Malloy did his first interview with Louis. So that's when it's gonna be set, and I can't wait to see that. I can't wait to see that. And this episode was pretty good. I ain't even gonna lie. A lot was really going on in this episode. Like I said, from the whole thing of Santiago not trusting Louis, and also Louis told Armand that he should trick Santiago that he is his heir inheritant to the doggone coven, because that's what Santiago really want. He really want to run the coven. So he told him that he needs to let him think that he's gonna be the one to take over. And Santiago got other members of the coven watching Louis and Armand. So I feel like they finna try to overthrow Armand, which I mean I think earlier in another episode they mentioned that Santiago is the youngest, but he also the strongest. I still feel like he ain't stronger than Armand, but with the Covenant at his back, and he maybe got a chance of taking over. But this episode was pretty good. I give this episode probably a 9 out of 10. I can't wait to see how the next episode gonna play out. But um, yeah, I'll see you in the next one. Take it easy.